Hey friends, Mynn here from On a Stamp Page. I am super excited about this week's hop because we are going to be sharing awesome, fun coloring techniques in honor of back to school. And I'm hoping that as you go along, you'll learn a couple of new things. And so today what I've got for you is I've got this darling card that I've made using some digis, and I hope you can see the shine. I've used digis from an Etsy shop that I recently found called Flippity Market, and this woman has the cutest digital stamps. And one thing that I know is difficult is being able to layer them and keeping the sizes the same, because I don't know if you can see down in there, but it's actually also printed on the card base so that I knew where I wanted to have my image. So before we get started, I want to show you how I created this panel in Photoshop. So take a look at that and then I'll be back in just a second. Before we get into Photoshop, I wanted to kind of show you this really darling Etsy shop, Le Petit Market. I love how she always has 40% off 10 or more with code shopping spree. And she has not only digital stamps, but she has colored clip art and darling pattern paper. Here's just a smattering of some of the things that you can find. She has so many different images, and they are absolutely amazing. So if you get a chance, I would hop over there and see everything that she has. Okay, so with that, let's go ahead and get into Photoshop. So the first thing that you're going to want to do in order to create a panel like this is to actually start with two different focal size panels, and I usually do mine 3 3/4 by 5. So I'm actually going to get 2 of those up here. Now I'm going to choose which images that I want to use on my card, and I think I'm going to use this really darling cat image as my main focal point. I love how it has a cute backpack on it and everything. I'm going to drag it into my first panel and resize it. Now that my image is placed where I want it and I have it hanging off on purpose, I'm going to actually drag that exact same image over to my other panel. This will be a way for me to print it the exact same size and not have to worry about resizing it again and trying to guess how big to make it. Next, I'm going to go ahead and add a black panel that's going to be used for my sentiment, and I'm going to create a sentiment just using some different fonts that I like. Now that my sentiment is placed where I want it to, I'm going to actually add a little element over next to the back two. It's going to be the little apple, and I'm going to go ahead and resize that as well, just like I did with the cat, and add it to my other panel so that it can print at the right size. Because this is just an element that's going to be added afterwards, I don't need it on my regular panel, so I'm going to delete it from that panel, and all I'm going to do is add some splotches and print these out. For printing, I use Microsoft Word. I go in and I just add my panel that has the color, add the panel that has the images that will be colored, and I usually like to put 2 per page so that I'm not wasting cardstock. All right, now let's get back to how to make the rest of the card. What I'm going to show you now is something that I call teacher coloring. So I don't know if you know much about me, but I am a teacher. I teach elementary school. I teach 2nd grade. And my kids always say, I want to know how to color like a teacher. So I'm going to kind of zoom in on this. And basically what coloring like a teacher is tracing with marker and coloring in with colored pencils or crayons. Now, when we think back to school, there is one company that stands out in our minds as teachers. We hope students are going to buy this company's products instead of other companies because they're better quality. And if you know what they are, go ahead and say it out loud right now. Yes, Crayola. And as I was looking online, I noticed that Crayola has a new line of products called Crayola Signature. And so I decided that I was going to do some things with these colored pencils that are Crayola Signature colored pencils. And they also have these signature markers that have a brush tip and a fine tip, okay? So these are the two products that I'm gonna use to do my teacher coloring today. I'm gonna start with these markers, and I'm gonna give you kind of a review of them because I know that there are so many different markers and things out there, but sometimes you just want something that doesn't cost as much. And I also bought these mainly to see if I had parents who said, my kid's really interested in art, what would you suggest as something for beginners? So I'm gonna see if that's something that this could be as well. So these signature products come in these really nice tins that have a beautiful sort of drawing on the front, and that this is drawn with the product. And then when you open up inside, it has two layers of the pens that have both a brush side and a fine tip side. Don't think that this is the red and this is the red. Like, this is red, this is scarlet, okay? And then it has a second layer in there with some more colors. So these are the colors that we're going to be, or the markers that we're going to be using to color in our images. So I'm gonna start actually by taking this and creating that fun glittery background. And so now what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna take some stickles, and I'm gonna use Stickles in Stardust, and I'm literally just going to kind of like go back and forth. And I'm going to rub it in the different places where I've put it to kind of evenly distribute the glitter from the stickles. It just gives it a really nice added texture, and then that will be able to dry while we're coloring our image, okay? So these colors are gonna kind of coordinate with my panel that I have over here. So basically, the first step in teacher coloring is to nicely outline where you want each color with a marker. So I'm gonna start with pink, and this brush side is Parrot Pink. So now that I've got my pink done, I'm gonna go in with some green. I'm gonna use this teal. And now I'm gonna go in with this Primrose that's kind of a purpley color. think I'm going to use this turquoise surf for the leaves on my apple. Okay, so now that we've got that part done, let's go ahead and get out these colored pencils and take a peek at these. So these also come in a tin with another drawing that looks to be done in colored pencil. And this one has a lid that stays on, and this is the array of colors that you get, which honestly, that's not a bad array for a starting colored pencil kit, right? So I'm gonna set this to the side. I'm gonna grab out the colors that I wanna use for my image. I'm gonna start with the pink since I have less of that. These colored pencils are smooth. Wow. I'm very impressed with that. All right, let's go on to the Robin's Egg Blue. All right, last color is the Violet. Now what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna fussy cut her and the apple out, and then we'll start putting our card together. Okay friends, I am back with all my bits and bobs. Let's get this card together. Basically what I've got here is I've got some dimensional foam pieces, some double-sided tape adhesive, my stickles, and then all of my little paper pieces. I'm gonna start by adhering our glittered focal panel to some black using the double-sided tape, since it's just a little bit warped from the glitter. Okay, so now that I have my focal panel on the card base, I am going to go ahead and I am going to put my little elements on here. Now, here's the thing. I kind of want to add some glitter to my little cat. In order to add glitter to the cat and not have it be warped, like on this darling card, see how I have glitter on here but the image is not warped? What I'm gonna have to do is put the glitter on here and then wait for it to dry. So I'm gonna do that and I will be back in a little bit with this glittered and dried and this popped up right here. All right friends, so here is what our darling little back to school cat looks like, all glittered up and on the card. Take you in a little bit closer. I added some glitter to the apple and the marker did run a tad bit, and I added some glitter gel pen to the word school. But our little girl is so cute and I love all the glitter. And while these markers and colored pencils from Crayola are obviously not the 100% best, and you can see some lines and stuff, which is probably also user error, I would say that these are actually really good for the price point, and that if you have a child who's wanting to kind of get into art, I would recommend them. So there we have this one, and let me get our other one, our little boy back to school card in here. Here we have our darling back to school cards, one for a little boy and one for a girl, and I absolutely love the way these turned out. I love how these images from the Petite Market are so fun and easy to color with my color like a teacher technique. So thanks so much for stopping by, friends. Make sure to see everybody else in the hop for your chance to win the grand prize that I talked about at the beginning of this and to win my challenge prize. And until next time, hugs and happy coloring, friends. Bye.